Hey boys and girls, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. I want to start by talking quickly about everyone I know is playing Super Mario Odyssey, and they are loving it. They are in love with it. And everyone's talking about how great it is, and I wish that I could join in on the excitement, but I am super uncoordinated and terrible at platformers. And I need a review of Super Mario Odyssey from somebody who is equally as uncoordinated and terrible at platformers as I am. So that they could tell me, no, it's fine, it's totally doable. Because I've seen people on Twitter saying, oh my god, this is like the easiest Mario game ever, it's not even a challenge. And then I've seen other people saying, I haven't died from an enemy, but oh my god, the jumping. And I'm like, enemies are one thing, but the jumping is where I am just terrible. Like, I've never enjoyed the 2D Mario games because I will jump to my death. Constantly. It's embarrassing. So, as much as I would love to see what all the fuss is about, I don't think that I would enjoy it. And I feel like it would be the kind of thing where I'd go and I'd spend $50 on the game and maybe get $10 worth of enjoyment out of it, because I would reach a point where I'm like, I'm stuck, I can't do this. I can't get past this part. However, much like when I reviewed Captain Toad Treasure Tracker on the Wii U, you might recall that. I very much enjoyed it because it was a puzzle game, and it was fun to figure out the solutions to the puzzles and get through the levels. However, there were a few levels, like interim levels, that required precise platforming. And there was one in particular that basically drove me insane, and I'm like, I'm never going to finish this game because I can't do this. I physically cannot race down this platform, changing lane to lane, avoiding enemies, jumping things, avoiding blockades, and then hitting the right things to speed up, and, you know, it was too much, and I couldn't do it. I'm not coordinated when it comes to platforming. But, after I died a bunch of times, the game basically was like, hey, you seem to be struggling with this. And they basically made it so that I was invulnerable. They're like, do you want us to make you invulnerable? Then I didn't have to worry about the enemies, and that was just enough that I was like, I don't have to worry about the enemies, I'm just going to do this thing. And then I was fine. And I made it through. And I have learned that there is something called assist mode for Super Mario Odyssey. And I looked it up, and apparently it gives you extra health and, like, extra lives or whatever, extra health, I guess. You don't have lives, really, I guess. And it gives you extra health, and if you fall to your death, instead of having to restart at a checkpoint, it just knocks off a little health or something and leaves you right where you fell. So I'm thinking that could actually be super awesome. And apparently you can turn it on and off at any time. So instead of being like a complete loser and playing it with assist mode on the whole time, I could try to play Super Mario Odyssey, see how far I actually get, and then turn it on so that I can actually finish it and feel like I've enjoyed it and gotten my money's worth. Or I could, you know, if there's a tough platforming section where I'm not able to jump and do it and it's all timed and things are moving and I'm just sucking at it, I could turn on the assist mode, get through that part, and then turn it back off again, you know. So that would be super awesome, because I love when games let you switch difficulty on the fly, because then you don't have to commit, and you can, if it spikes in difficulty, you can turn it on. You can lower your difficulty, whatever, and get through that section. But I also don't know, because I'm still playing Infamous Second Son, as you know, and I am now getting really close to the ending. Because I'm now at the point where, like, I've cleared all the districts in Seattle, and, like, I've started to get all the trophies for finding all of the files, getting all the secret agents, getting all the cameras, and so I'm getting, like, 100% of the collecting things there. So I feel like there's probably just like a handful of missions left to go, and then I'm at the end of the game, where hopefully I'll be able to beat the boss. Because I just played a mission that I had to beat a boss to get the video powers, which I'm not crazy about. I think Neon is actually still my favorite, which is funny because the fire was cool, but the Neon turned out to be like super awesome, and I'm really leaning towards the Neon. That's like my default. But the boss that you had to defeat, the big winged Angel of Vengeance thing, it was really hard, and it took me a bunch of tries, and but I did it. So I'm hoping that the final boss now, like these two mini bosses were rough, but I'm hoping the final boss, it'll be difficult, but I'll be able to actually, after a few tries, hopefully I'll be able to beat it. Fingers crossed. But that's in the future still, not there yet. But that is all whatever, because what I really wanted to talk to you about is my friends, because Nintendo announced the Animal Crossing mobile game, which is officially called Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. And I'm super excited, because it's new Animal Crossing, and I love Animal Crossing, as you know. Unless this is your first time watching my podcast. I'm obsessed. I love Animal Crossing. Duh. So, basically, I really want a Switch game. Convinced there's still one in development, but I knew they were doing a mobile game. Everyone was just wondering what it was going to be. It doesn't seem to tie into the 3DS game, New Leaf. I don't know if it'll tie into the Switch game that I'm sure is in development, like I said. But either way, it's more Animal Crossing fun, and I'm actually really surprised, having watched the Nintendo Direct, how, like, in-depth it is. Like, it's not just, like, a superficial kind of, oh, whatever, we'll do a little here and there and whatever. Like, you're running a campground, and you're supposed to develop this campground and build it up and build stuff so that, like, amenities and stuff, so that, like, the animals will come, and different amenities will bring different animals and whatever. But then there's also, like, separate little areas that you can go to where you can go fishing, you can break rocks, you can, like, do all kinds of stuff, catch bugs, whatever. Like, all of the typical Animal Crossing stuff. The only thing that I'm, like, it's all touchscreen, so I'm, like, you're tapping on things, so I'm, like, that's going to be an interesting control scheme, because I'm used to buttons. I know the original DS game had, touchscreen controls where you could move around and do stuff, but they weren't great, and it was not intuitive, and the buttons and the joystick were just much easier. Like, I'm like, they're right there, why would you use touchscreen? You know, it just made no sense. So in the 3DS version, it's just for menus and stuff, which is great, but moving around and doing stuff is all joystick buttons. So, touchscreen controls, I'm also intrigued because there's, like, crafting now. So if you want to build, like, a swing, it costs like 30 pieces of wood, and you have to go and do errands and favors for people in order to collect the 30 pieces of wood. Although it also seems like you should just be able to go chop down trees, but whatever. They didn't do that in the Direct. And then, so it's like in New Leaf, where you build amenities for your town. Here you're building them for your little campsite, your campground. But instead of costing bells, it costs supplies so that it, you know, makes you play and do things and whatever. And that's an interesting new angle, and I'm wondering if this is like a test to see if maybe this gameplay element will work, and then that'll be put into the Switch version, you know, so that you'll craft things. I wouldn't mind it. I don't think it'll be terrible. As long as Animal Crossing maintains the whole, like, relaxed atmosphere. Because that's why I've never been able to do things like, everyone else, I know a lot of people who are playing Stardew Valley, and everyone's like, why aren't you playing that? You love Animal Crossing, wouldn't you love Stardew Valley? And I'm like, yes, but I don't like the sim games like that, like the detailed sim games, because I tried Harvest Moon because I thought, oh, it's just Animal Crossing with farming. It's fine. It's not. It's a lot of maintenance, you've got to maintain your farms, and it's like a lot of work. Whereas Animal Crossing, it's all very laid back, and you can do it if you want, you don't have to, it's fine, whatever. That's more my speed. Like having to stay on top of my crops and rotate them and pick them and water them, and it's just, it's stressful. And I can't maintain things like that, so it's not good. So the crafting, that might be okay. We'll see. I'm super excited. It's coming out in late November, so we'll find out soon, like in a month. Less than a month, I should hope. Unless it's literally late November is like November 30th. But it's already out in Australia, and people seem to be enjoying it. I saw somebody put the file on Twitter, and I was like, I'm not going to download that to my phone. A, because I don't want to break my phone, and B, I'd rather just get it through, like, the proper channels so that it will automatically update and do what it's got to do. I don't want to have to manually do updates because I'm going to play this a lot. And I'm going to have to delete stuff from my phone. Probably delete Mitomo, which I don't use anymore, and probably Pokemon Go, which I also don't use anymore. Because I have limited space in my phone. I gotta make room. And this looks like it's a solid game, so it's probably going to take up a lot of space. Plus, it's going to suck my battery dry, which already my phone's battery is shitty to begin with right now, because it's an old phone. It's like a couple years old, so the battery is not great. So we'll see what happens with that. But also it's going to suck my free time, because I am still playing New Leaf. Because I am going to play Animal Crossing New Leaf until there is a new town to move into on the Switch. That is what I have done since the very first Animal Crossing game on the GameCube. I play an Animal Crossing game until the next Animal Crossing game is released. Pocket Camp is not an official, proper Animal Crossing game with a town and everything. This is like a side game. It's more in-depth than I expected it to be, but it's still just a side game, like Happy Home Designer, or the Amiibo Festival. They're side games. So when there is a Switch game where I can move into a town, whether or not I'm mayor, who knows if they'll keep that, but if I move into a new Animal Crossing town on the Switch, that's when I move out of my New Leaf town on the 3DS. This doesn't count. So basically, I'm going to be mayor of my New Leaf town, taking care of Geneva, keeping my friends happy, and watering my plants and picking my weeds, and doing what I gotta do. And then I'm also going to be playing on my phone to do what I gotta do with this campground. On the plus side, being a mobile game, it won't have what the core Animal Crossing games have, where you need to play it every day, or you'll have like weeds and people will move out and that sort of thing. Like, it's a mobile game, so it's going to be even more casual, and they won't have those kind of repercussions for not playing for a week or two, I'm sure. We'll find out. But, like, so I feel like I'll play my New Leaf, and then when I have time, I'll play Pocket Camp. And it'll just be like an extra, like a bonus. Also, with Pocket Camp, it's the kind of thing where you have to build things, and then Cyrus is like, oh, this'll take, 2 days. And you're like, oh, okay, fine. And you come back in 2 days and it's there. Or you do something else in the meantime. But it's those mobile games where they're meant to be played in, like, brief little bursts, and then, like, you have to wait for things to happen, because that's where they get you to spend money. Is, oh, well, you can pay money to buy the bucks, the Nook bucks, or whatever they call them, I forget, that you can spend to speed up the processes, or replace items that you don't want to do favors to get, like that sort of thing, the ingredients for your crafting. And my goal, as with all free-to-play mobile games, is to play it as much as I can without spending actual physical real-world money. And the thing is that I love Animal Crossing so much that I don't mind. I'll be like, that's fine, I'll wait like 2 days and come back. I've got New Leaf to play. I don't care. I'm not going to be inspired to spend money to make things happen faster. Because I'll just go play New Leaf in the meantime, who cares? So, you heard it here. I am not going to spend real-world money on Animal Crossing. Which is crazy, because if there was ever a game that I would spend real money on, it would be Animal Crossing, because Animal Crossing is my life. So, I'm still not going to spend money on it, though. So, I'm super excited about it, and I can wait a few more weeks, and when it is eventually released, I will have lots of things to talk about in my podcast. So, But come back in the meantime. Don't just come back in a month and see what I have to say about it. Like, watch next week's, because I'm sure I'll have something to talk about. Maybe I'll get in Super Mario Odyssey. Maybe I'll cave. I don't know. Maybe I'll finish Infamous Second Son. Who knows? It's a mystery. So come back and find out. Right? Bye!